Hey everyone, welcome to Strange Stories, where we explore near-death experiences and supernatural stories from people who've had a glimpse of the other side. If you enjoy our content, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Without further ado, let's get to the story of the day. I was born on February 6, 1947, and passed away on December 9, 2012. Prior to December 19th, death, at least my own, never terrified me. I even believe I was prepared to do it because of the few experiences that had brought me this near. At the firing range in the army, a soldier who was leaving the firing range did not follow protocol. He shot after one bullet remained in the rifle barrel. The bullet struck a wooden post on which I was leaning, passing between my ear and shoulder. Another bullet rebounded and grazed my neck while I was still at the firing range. Another time, when driving my motorcycle at 180 kilometers an hour on the highway, I blew a tire while overtaking a truck. Another time, my engine was literally exploding in the fog. My colleague died during a combined dive as a scuba diving instructor. At the commencement of the First Gulf War in 1990 in Marrakesh, a maniac angered by European participation against Saddam Hussein held a knife to my throat and stung me slightly in the stomach. Fortunately, it was just a threat, and the knife's edge was on the outside. So I was prepared to die multiple times, which made me remote during the horrible experience, which I will attempt to relate. My heart has been in atrial arrhythmia for over a decade, despite drugs and 5 interventions, flutter ablation, fibrillation ablation, and an electroshock. These interventions are carried out in an operating room fit for a power plant's control station, complete with a Papa Mobile to cover the intervening doctor from X-rays. I was given few or no anesthetics, so the doctors could use my reactions to establish the location of the catheter with the incandescent end that was placed into my heart. I can and must speak with them. However, despite the relatively excellent statistics of these surgeries, 4 deaths for 10,000 treatments, but none at the Princess Grace of Monaco Hospital, I always underwent them with trepidation. My cardiologist, or hypothyroidism, prohibited the medication that could have helped to regulate this arrhythmia, resulting in another fibrillation that could only be treated by a cardioversion with electric shock, or electroshock, which was organized at the hospital and scheduled for the 19th of December in ambulatory. Wednesday, December 19, 2012. I arrive at the hospital, St. George of Nice, about 9 a.m. with Patricia, my wife. I'm picked up around 10 past 10 a.m. Dressing and preparing, the anesthesiologist doctor greets me and puts me to sleep. My spouse notices an unusual amount of enthusiasm in the apartment around 11 a.m. Dr. R is on his way to inform her that things are not going well and that he has requested that the SAMU, Emergency Medical Service, remove me to the Cardiothoracic Center of Monaco. He invited her to come see me. She finds me in a death rattle, blue-violet. I tell her that my heart is in a lot of anguish. I have no memory of it. She begs that Dr. R take me to the specialized facility, which Dr. R agrees to do. But Dr. R also tells her that I have a very tiny chance of making it there. Several times during the intervention, I felt like the heart was closing in on itself, like an old TV that was imploding. My heart rate was only 10%, which means I was about to die or have significant neurological difficulties. My goal was that those episodes would begin while I was still in the operating room, surrounded by cardiologists. They put me on a counterpulse intra-aortic balloon and predicted that I would need circulatory support when I arrived in Monaco. I recall asking Dr. R in the SAMU ambulance if he should come and visit me there, where I'd be going, and I believe I saw my spouse's disintegrated face. I recognized whether I was in Nice or on the highway by the shaking and siren of the SAMU. I also recall the doctor asking them to pull over on the highway so he could treat me. I thought I was vomiting. When I arrived in Monaco, I was welcomed by the reanimation team, particularly Dr. E and F. Dr. F, who was very humane and attentive to patients, explained my arrival to me later. She introduced herself. I was beaming at her when she turned aside and exclaimed, "What a gorgeous grin." As I was puking, I discovered her laying on the gurney with one arm free. I grabbed her by the only portion of her that was my height, her lower back, and told her, "I don't feel good. I'm leaving again." This made the entire crew smile as they realized I wanted to return to Nice. Indeed, I felt as if my heart was failing again. It was the start of the fourth episode of my heart closing in on itself. Except for few periods of lucidity when I was aware of what was going on around me, I only truly and completely awoke on Saturday, December 22nd in the afternoon. My memories are episodic, but with unusual intensity and precision. Medical procedures are on the horizon. I was catheterized, perfusing in one arm and the aorta, on artificial respiration, hooked up, drugged, with my eyes closed and a feeding tube pumping a blackish fluid into my stomach. Hallucination. On Friday, I'm becoming more aware, and I can converse with the nurse using signs. Each nurse on duty 24 hours a day is in charge of only one patient. As soon as I understood what I asked using signs, I felt assured. "What's going on?" or "What am I doing here?" says the palm of the hand. And next, closed fist, except for the index finger, which I'm twisting clockwise. She always addressed all of my questions and prepared me after counseling. My cubicle was directly in front of the area where all nurses congregated and telephones were located. I could hear the conversations, and when my daughter Belinda called on Friday to check in on me, I lifted a thumb to indicate I'm well. The nurse noticed it and informed her. Dr. L, a cardiologist from Nice, came to meet me on this particular Friday and explained my problem to me, which was validated by Dr. R, a cardiologist who came the next morning. I noticed his tears as he revealed to me that I couldn't have survived outside of a medical atmosphere. This health system and the cardiologist saved my life. My gratitude goes to them, to the SAMU, to the doctors, and the entire team at the Cardiothoracic Center of Monaco. Patricia, Belinda, and Harry have always been present. Felipe and his children also arrived. When I saw them, Patricia thin and gray and Belinda enraged, I determined to act upbeat. If there had been a problem, I would have left them with a nice memory. So, starting Friday, I regained consciousness to an unfathomable event. When I was able to open and close my eyes, I saw what was around me with open eyes. I saw unusual visuals appear as I closed my eyes. It was a descent on New York, for example. I was insignificant in full stillness. New York in complete darkness, without a living soul, except for the streets, which were a little less dark. I was soaring over the city, shifting my head under my eyelids from right to left. When I froze my gaze at a specific area in this very dark image, the center warped and appeared to be the face of G. Depardieu, a French actor. During this time, there was a lot of buzz about him. Other images were more bucolic. Ireland, green and blue, seen from a height, with millions of migratory birds filling my range of view. Or in a corner of a vast hall, a sculpture made of wet and dried leather, depicting dozens of really excellent caryatids or female busts. And there again, I could open my eyes, and as soon as I closed them, these sculptures reappeared. Insisting on this vision, it warped, and G. Depardieu appeared with only a few features of his face visible between the folds of his garments. At times, there was a large draping fabric, like a curtain, draped on the side of a massive window. Another time, in the prior hall's corner, there were ochre-colored Christmas baubles and garlands. Emerging from reanimation as of Sunday, I was being treated in a room where doctors and nurses came in every morning about 11 a.m. When I asked one of the doctors who had accepted me at the emergency room, Dr. E, to describe my genuine condition to me without any bafflegab, he happened to be pedagogically correct, just as I had hoped. Here's what he had to say. "First of all, sir, you must comprehend that you were dead and that you have been resuscitated with no cerebral or cardiac after effects. You are the only such example in our 30-year history." More technical explanations followed, but to end on a lighter note, he remarked, "Up there, you who have seen him, how is he? Because we're also interested in him." "I only perceived him very little," I said in the same tone. "He thought I was too nice and returned me. On the other hand, I pledged to write down whatever I observe and bring it back to you the next time. So, I'm one of those who died and then returned." Experience in the tunnel. You could read descriptions of a dark tunnel with a bright light at the end. There was no tunnel for me. I saw myself ascending, my face turned to the bluish sky. I know I left something dark behind, rather below. This seemed to be my history, and I felt fine. I had no body, no intelligence, no noise, no one around me, and I was advancing in this cotton wool void, with a space of bluish cotton wool further away. This cotton wool space just half opened. You are too kind. Go back," said something or someone to me. Rather a beautiful old man with a white beard, dressed in this cotton wool. My out-of-body experience comes to an end there. Final remarks. What remains after more than a year? Have I evolved? I'm left with a slew of unanswered questions. What did I see or envision? Hallucinations? Normal syndromes associated with medical treatments? Or recollections of what had impressed me in the preceding days or months? Or as a result of this incomprehensible passage towards elsewhere? If I made a change, yes, I'm becoming more detached from the people around me. First, there are those relatives or friends that came to see me and those who did not. Then there are the doctors, all of them and their teams, who have made wise decisions, who have treated and healed me. They have my respect. There's also the obvious impression of superior intelligence. One answer came from a doctor who was interested in this phenomena. He describes it by comparing the brain to a mega computer that is freaking out like a bug throughout this event. The computer professional restarts the machine and reformats it, removing any unnecessary programs. That's his analogy. The brain switched off and rebooted, clearing out the unnecessary connections. The computer is becoming more capable. Will the brain follow suit?